Okay, thanks for joining me. This is going to be a definitive guide on how to get low-income housing, okay? This is every type of housing there is out there. It does not matter if you are homeless, about to be homeless. It doesn't matter if you're low income. It doesn't matter if you're making $40,000 a year. Everybody can apply for this stuff unless you make an exceptional income, okay? So just to be clear, this covers everybody, all right? First thing you'll notice is this is a coordinated access system operations manual, okay? This is the actual employee manual. This is everything they use and are trained by in order to score you, place you, and put you on a list. The second thing I want to show you, here is the actual housing prioritization tool. This is how they score you. It isn't that hard to look at it and figure out how well you're going to do and what questions that you could answer better. This is their actual flow chart, okay? Flow chart, HUD's, and it's for HUD. So, when it comes to being an authority on this, when I first did a few videos in 2019, I didn't expect so many people to come to me. Over 1,000 people emailed me and commented on videos needing help. This year, I decided that it would be good to help you go through the manual because I realized not everybody is able to understand these manuals, okay? And so that's probably why I'm getting a lot of questions. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is simply this. Look, guys, last year my videos I wasn't monetized, which means I didn't make any money off doing it. It's never been my goal. However, this year I've been granted the ability to make money from ads. Every time you let an ad run for 20 seconds, I earned 1 copper penny. That is it. Just like when you go to a restaurant and you hand somebody $5 because you enjoyed their meal. Okay, the big difference is you're handing me a penny, not $5, not $10 or 20% of that bill. So I would greatly appreciate it. It's not that hard to turn down the volume, look away for 20 seconds, and just let the ad run, okay? That's if you want to show me your appreciation, that's how you can do it. All right, let's move on from that. First thing I'm going to do is we want to discuss the types of housing. So let's take a look here because there's too many of y'all coming to me and telling me all these different types of housing. It goes by so many names, but the reality is there's only 4 types, okay? Number 1, Section 8 housing. Now, from the 60s to the 80s, that's what it was called, okay? Now we're during modern days, it is called the Housing Choice Voucher Program, okay? Or voucher, that is it. It's anybody that owns a property that you can live in, whether it's apartment, house, whatever it may be. They have to set that rent at the median rent for the city. So if the high end's 1,000 and the low end's 500, then they're going to be forced to have to, if they want to lease to you, they have to make sure that it's a fair market value of 500. Okay, just as an example. And then the second thing that comes into play is when you receive the voucher, which is a check. That check goes directly to the landlord and can pay as much as 80% of your rent. Okay, so you're already cheap rent, and then a check to cover, to lower it even further. Public housing, that's the second thing. Okay, so instead of going to private citizens to rent from them, then the state owns their own buildings, houses, and apartments. So it's state-owned property. That's all it is. Okay, and it has an exceptionally long list. And why? Because one, it's not just fair market value, but when you combine it with subsidies, then you end up, in some cases, people only pay $8 a month. No wonder it takes a decade to get on that. So don't hold your hopes too high getting that. Now, that covers HUD. Now, the second branch of HUD is what we call a Continuum of Care, okay? That's for people that are homeless or if you're at risk of being homeless. And let me be clear, if you're not on somebody's lease and it can't be proven otherwise, then you know what? You are, a COC is perfect for you, okay? A lot of people don't know about this. They walk into the HUD office and let me tell you, it doesn't always go so well there. These programs are administered at different sites. They're not administered at HUD, okay? Because they have what they call rapid rehousing and some permanent supportive housing. These two things are much quicker than going to HUD. So Continuum of Care, a COC, they exist in every state, okay? So if you're in somebody's home and you're not on their lease, then nobody can prove that you're not homeless, okay? Or that you're not at risk of being homeless. As long as you don't have a title to a home and you're not on a lease, then, like I said, you're as good as homeless, okay? Because you don't own anything. All right. So with that being said, rapid rehousing, it's the same situation as Section 8, okay? But here's the big difference. Section 8 makes you run around with a housing choice voucher. You have to go find your own place, and then once you find it, there may be a waiting list and all this other drama. With a rapid rehousing through COC, they'll go out there, they already have a list of these houses, so there's nowhere for you to have to go. They do all the work for you. They'll pay the deposits, they'll pay the rent, they'll provide furniture, all kinds of stuff for you. It's essentially like they just found you under a bridge and they know you can't do anything for yourself. So they go out there and they have pre-approved places for you to go, okay? These are the same houses that are available to Section 8, okay? Same type of situations. They're no different. Okay, permanent supportive housing, that is basically the other version of public housing. So it's all these different apartments, buildings, and whatever it may be, but the permanent supportive housing has two different elements. One, they completely pay your rent. And two, it doesn't ever end. Once you get in permanent supportive housing, there's no end to that program. So you have it for an eternity. So they pay your rent forever, and then they have a counselor station at the front of the building. That's all there is to it, okay? Or if it happens to be a house where they're renting rooms. So this is for people that have a little bit more, that need more serious care, have mental problems, drinking problems, drug problems, disabilities, whatever it may be. But it's not a half bad deal if they're going to pay your rent completely and forever. Okay, so now we understand all of those things. Now we're going to go through the manual. Okay, so to keep this very short for you, I'm just going to tell you that this is going to take, we're going to do it in sessions of 10 minutes and just take a break, watch 5 minutes and then come back, watch 5 more. And then when I post the new ones, you can do that. I'm not going to make an hour-long video because it's just too much talking. Okay. Okay, so we skipped past the first part because it was just a bunch of definitions, okay? Now, I want to reiterate, if you do not have a title to a home, you don't own a home, and there's no way to prove that you're on anybody's lease, then you are the primary definition of homeless. I don't care if you're living in Sally's guest bedroom. If you're not on a lease that can be found, then you qualify as homeless, period. There's no other way to define that, okay? There's no other way to prove that, okay? The second thing I want to tell you is there's a big difference of the tests. Okay, so HUD, as an example, may have 10 questions to allow you 10 chances to score high on a list. With the COC that I'm suggesting, you would have 20 questions. So you would have all 10 of HUD's questions plus an additional 10 questions. What does that mean? So you would only have a 50%, you can only earn 50% of the points available to you at HUD to score high on the list. You go to a COC, you could actually earn all 100%, which means all 20 questions equal 100 points, which means you have every available opportunity. So you see the point, you can apply for either place because the questions are the same for both locations. COC just has the additional questions that are going to give you additional points. Now, the reason we're going through the manual is to look at how you can acquire those points. I'm sure you can figure that out when we read through this, okay? So just to be clear. Another thing, COCs, look, there are going to be homeless people there, period, okay? They're going to apply. There's not going to be that many. I mean, probably in most cities, 300-400 people in a given year go there. So it's not like you're outside with an army of 300 people, okay? Now, the big differences between these two programs, other than the fact that they're absolutely the same, is HUD doesn't do anything for you and COC does. HUD, if you do manage to get enough points to go get a voucher, they give you a voucher. There's a limit to the time that you can do that. And then if you don't manage to get it all done, then you know what? You give up the voucher. With COC, they already have all these properties on the list. They go out there and do it for you. They go out there and pay the rent. They go out there and they pay the deposits. They will buy and bring the furniture to your apartment. They basically help you do everything. That is the point. And they do all this stuff. They have to tell you exactly what type of housing you're going to get within 24 hours. They have to work through that process over a 7-day period, and they've got to have you in a place within 30 to 60 days. With HUD, which is not a COC, running the COC program, they have no incentive to do anything other than log into a computer, either check off, give him a voucher or give him public housing, and then they click put you on a list. Good luck. We'll send you an email once a year, and that's the end of it. So you see why I'm pushing you to go there, because this program for the COC covers everything and allows you to get all the additional points, okay? So we'll be moving on to part 2.